Although the college football season is still 4 months away, I think we have a pretty good idea of who the best players are going to be for the 2025 season. At least, we think we do. Every year during the offseason, I do my own version of rankings, whether it comes to teams or it comes to players, but I never really react to other outlets posting their top players. Well, I think that's about to change. Today, we're going to be taking a look at ESPN's top 15 quarterbacks for the 2025 season and just see how accurate we think this list is. But before we get to today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel. So make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. Now, I will say before I react to this top 15, as of right now at the end of April, I haven't made my top 10 or my top 15 quarterbacks for the 2025 season. I know every year I usually do like a top 50. I'm sure I'll have that in the coming months, but as of right now, I haven't put together my top 10 to 15. So if I were to actually make my list right now, I'm not exactly certain how accurate it would be to this ESPN top 15. But when looking at where these rankings are, maybe it's going to give me a good understanding of where I would have guys inside my top 15. Coming in at number 1 is Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik. Now, he did surprise me in 2024. After his 2023 season, I was pretty low on him, but he was really solid for the Tigers last year. 3,700 passing yards, 36 passing touchdowns with only 6 interceptions, a 63% completion percentage, nearly 500 yards on the ground, and 7 rushing touchdowns. I honestly have no problem with Cade Klubnik being the number 1 quarterback, and I do think he can have a really solid season in 2025. At number 2, they got Penn State quarterback Drew Aller. Now, Drew Aller is a really interesting quarterback for me. I wasn't as high on him last year as a lot of other people were. I thought he was the reason Penn State wasn't able to win the big games. He threw for 3,300 yards, had 24 passing touchdowns with 8 interceptions, and added 300 yards on the ground with 6 rushing touchdowns. Now, for the most part, I wasn't all that impressed with Drew Aller last year, but towards the end of the season, especially in the Big Ten title game against Oregon, he really impressed me, and I thought, wait a second, this guy actually might be the real deal. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that think he has a lot of NFL caliber traits, but to be the number 2 quarterback in college football, yeah, I just don't buy that. I'm going to have to see it with my own eyes this next year. Coming in at number 3 is LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier. Now, he had quite the season in 2024. He threw for over 4,000 yards and had 29 passing touchdowns. Now, with the LSU offense, Garrett Nussmeier is probably going to light up the stat sheet once again, but again, the number 3 quarterback in college football, I'm not that certain. If it comes to pure statistics, he very well could be, but yeah, I think Garrett Nussmeier is a little high here at number 3. Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer comes in at number 4. This is a really interesting ranking for me, and I honestly don't know if this is too high or if this is too low. He was fantastic at Washington State last year, but I think a lot of college football fans weren't really that aware of him because he was playing for Washington State. He threw for over 3,100 yards, had 29 passing touchdowns, but was an absolute threat on the ground as he ran for over 800 yards and had 15 rushing touchdowns. I think John Mateer is once again going to light up the stat sheet, but it's going to be interesting to see how he fares when playing mostly SEC defenses compared to that relatively easy schedule he had this past year with the Cougars. South Carolina quarterback Lenora Sellers, he comes in at number 5, and I'm really torn on him because there were times I saw him play last year where I thought this guy is honestly a top 3 quarterback in all of college football, and there were times as well where I thought, boy, I don't know how he's so good at times because he was really polarizing for me. He threw for 2,500 yards, had 18 passing touchdowns, and added 700 yards on the ground with 7 rushing touchdowns. A lot of people out there think that he's going to take the next step in 2025, and he's going to have South Carolina competing once again for a potential playoff spot. Now, we do have to remember that South Carolina, in the second half of the season last year, they were arguably one of the 4 or 5 best teams in all of college football, and a lot of people thought they should have made the college football playoff. And that's largely due to the play of Lenora Sellers. So he's able to replicate what he did in the second half. Yeah, I definitely think he'll be a top 5 quarterback, and he'll be in the Heisman discussion in 2025. Arizona State quarterback Sam Leavitt comes in at number 6. Now, me as an Arizona State alum, I would have Sam Leavitt probably inside my top 3, and a lot of outside college football fans are probably thinking, why does Arizona State have a quarterback inside the top 10, let alone inside the top 6? Now, if you look at his numbers, they're not going to look too sexy. They're not necessarily necessarily going to wow you. 2,900 passing yards, 24 touchdowns. He added 500 yards on the ground with 6 rushing scores. Again, those numbers don't necessarily scream a top 6 quarterback in college football, but if you watch this guy play, especially in the second half when ASU really went on that run, and especially late in the season against Iowa State and in their playoff game, Sam Leavitt is in fact the real deal. I think he's a Heisman caliber quarterback, and I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the college football season in 2025, people are saying that Sam Leavitt is a top 5 quarterback in the country, and he's going to be a potential top 3 NFL draft pick at some point. Brand new Miami quarterback Carson Beck comes in at number 7. Yeah, I think this one is probably a little bit too high. I mean, Carson Beck, this was a guy I was insanely high on entering the 2024 season. He might have been my preseason Heisman pick. He still had some really solid numbers for Georgia last year, 3,500 yards, 28 touchdowns. He did have 12 interceptions. It did seem like he took a step back. Now, granted, Georgia did lose a lot of weapons on offense. He did get hurt at the end of the year, but I just thought Carson Beck didn't look as good as the numbers indicated. He goes to Miami now. They do lose a lot of talent on offense as well. I don't think he's going to look all that great with the Hurricanes. They did give him, $4 million this offseason for whatever reason. He might have a bounce back year. He might be a Heisman caliber quarterback. I just don't believe in the Carson Beck hype. I don't think he's the number 7 quarterback in college football. Now, this just goes to show that this list actually might be pretty laughable. This was posted at the end of March, so at the time of this article, they did have Nico Iamaleava currently at Tennessee. That doesn't even matter. The whole debacle that happened with him at UCLA now, Nico Iamaleava in no way, shape, or form is the 8th best quarterback in college football. He probably wouldn't have even been the 8th best quarterback in the SEC for 2025. So yeah, having him at number 8, we're just going to go on to our next one. Georgia Tech quarterback Haynes King, he comes in at number 9. This one surprises me. I don't think I would have had Haynes King inside my top 10. He had a really interesting season for Georgia Tech last year. He did miss a number of games, threw for 2,100 yards, had 14 passing touchdowns, did complete 73% of his passes, and added 600 yards on the ground with 11 rushing touchdowns. It was a really solid season last year for Georgia Tech. When he did play, the Yellow Jackets did look like a really good team, but top 10? Yeah, I don't know if the quarterbacks for 2025 just aren't as good as years prior, or maybe we should be higher on Haynes King. Number 10 is Florida quarterback DJ Lagway. I'm honestly pretty surprised to see him at number 10. I thought he'd honestly be a little bit higher. Now, when you look at his numbers, they're not that great at all. 2,000 passing yards, completed only 60% of his passes, 12 passing touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He's kind of like what Anthony Richardson was at Florida a couple years ago. The numbers weren't really all that sexy, but the talent looked like it was clearly there. Now, obviously, DJ Lagway, he's going to have to prove it at Florida in 2025. He's going to have to prove that he is a top 10 quarterback in college football, but I do think he's capable of being a Heisman caliber quarterback. I do think he's capable of posting some really remarkable numbers, but again, since we didn't really see it all that much last year, that's probably why this article hasn't listed at number 10. Kevin Jennings at number 11. This one really surprises me. He was phenomenal last season for SMU. 3,200 passing yards, 23 passing touchdowns, completed 65% of his passes. He did add 350 yards on the ground with 5 rushing touchdowns. Now, I know that he was absolutely terrible against Penn State in their college football playoff game, but Kevin Jennings, he's the reason SMU made it to the college football playoff. He's the reason that they were so good in 2024. If you remember, he wasn't even their starting quarterback to begin the year. Instead, it was Preston Stone. But after SMU saw just how good Jennings was, he won the quarterback job. Now, he posted those fantastic stats last year, and he's back for another year. So yeah, Kevin Jennings, he should be a lot higher on this list than number 11. This one is actually pretty surprising to me as well, considering he currently has the number 1 Heisman odds for the 2025 season, but they got Texas quarterback Arch Manning at number 12. Now, out of all the players we've talked about in today's video, he definitely has the smallest sample size. He only threw for 1,000 yards last year, had 9 passing touchdowns, added 100 yards on the ground with 4 rushing touchdowns, but I think everyone can agree that talent-wise, Arch Manning very well could be number 1. So again, I'm guessing because we haven't necessarily seen it just yet, that's why he's not ranked higher, but I don't care that we've seen a very small sample size. There are a number of quarterbacks on this list, and my own personal list, I would put Arch Manning ahead of. Now, I don't know about putting him at number 1 1 or number 2, but I think number 12, I don't know, that just seems absolutely crazy to put him at. At number 13, we have Illinois quarterback Luke Altmaier, and apparently, I think I just saw this on Twitter the last day or so, he was gaining a lot of potential interest to enter the transfer portal and end up at a new program. I don't know if that was something that was happening, but I guess other teams were trying to get him in the portal. He's staying at Illinois. He was pretty solid last year for Illinois. He threw for 2,700 yards, had 22 passing touchdowns with only 6 interceptions, did have 4 rushing touchdowns, only completed 61% of his passes though. I mean, he was solid last season for Illinois. He didn't really do anything that stood out for me. He didn't really do anything that caught my attention. So seeing him at number 13, again, I don't know if that just means there aren't that many great quarterbacks entering the 2025 season, but I am pretty surprised to see Luke Altmaier crack this top 15. Baylor quarterback Sawyer Robinson, he comes in at number 14, and he had a really underrated campaign last year for Baylor. He threw for 3,000 yards, had 28 passing touchdowns, and he had 4 rushing touchdowns as well. He didn't begin the season as Baylor's starting quarterback, but he won the job after they saw just how good he was. Now, for some reason, I don't know if this was because when I was watching all the games on college football Saturdays, Baylor just for some reason always ended up on one of the screens, but whenever I was catching some of Baylor's game, Sawyer Robinson, it felt like this dude was always doing something crazy and helping his team win. But from the eye test alone, I think Sawyer Robinson is going to be a really good quarterback in 2025 that is going to catch a lot of people by surprise. Wrapping up today's video is Duke quarterback Darian Mensah. Now he comes in for Tulane, where he had a pretty solid campaign last year. He threw for 2,700 yards and had 22 passing touchdowns with only 6 interceptions. Now he was solid last season for Tulane, but having watched a number of their games, I don't know if he's worthy of being inside the top 15. I mean, he was solid, I'll give him that. I don't know how things are going to look for him at Duke, but again, from what I saw just last season, again, I wasn't watching every single game, this was just the games I did watch, I didn't really take away top 15 quarterback in all college football. Now, he could prove me wrong, he could be fantastic this season for the Blue Devils, but again, I'm a little surprised to see him ranked inside the top 15. Well, that wraps it up for today's video. What are your thoughts on ESPN's top 15 quarterbacks for the 2025 season? Was there a quarterback that was ranked too high, or a quarterback that was ranked too low? Also, was there a quarterback that didn't even crack the top 15 that should have been in here? Whoever it is, let me know in the comment section down below. Before you leave, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm, and it helps share this video and my channel with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.